October is absolutely one of my favorite months to fish. I'm gonna give you my top 5 baits for fishing pretty much anywhere, but a lot of lakes, rivers, middle part of the country, down into the south, even up into the north a little bit. These 5 baits, you can go to so many places and catch a lot of fish. So let's just get right into it. Number 1, first and foremost, probably the most fun, I'm gonna go with a big topwater bait. This is a SPRO walking haint. It throws a lot of water. It splashes around a ton. I really like the chrome almost all the time. Chrome or bone, great colors to throw. It's got 3 Gamakatsu treble hooks on it, so you're gonna get really good hookups. You can work this bait really hard, and you're not gonna have the thing catch the front hook. It's so nice that that happens on a lot of other big walking baits. But I'm gonna be fishing that on 50-pound Sunline AMZ braid. I really like that braid because you can make super long casts and you can work the bait very effectively. You can make that bait walk back and forth. I'm gonna throw that on a 7-foot medium heavy cash and rod, and then a high speed GS model reel by 7. I like the faster gear ratio because when you're working that bait, you don't have to turn the handle quite as hard to be able to pick up the slack as that bait's popping back and forth. I've learned that over the years. If you have even like a 6-to-1 or slower, you've got to work the handle so fast that it's hard to get the proper walking on that topwater bait. So do that in October with that big walking bait. You'll have a lot better success. That's number 1. Number 1 for sure. Number 2, you gotta have a shallow crankbait. I've caught so many fish in the month of October with small flat-sided crankbaits. The Little John for years and years and years has been really my go-to for shallow cranking. Anytime you've got some stained water and you got bait fish pushed up shallow, just grab the crankbait, go down the bank. You will definitely catch fish. But this is the SPRO Little John Micro 45. So it's 10 millimeters smaller than the regular Little John. Still casts very well. I throw it on a BFS style rod, 8-pound Crank FC from Sunline, a 7.3-to-1 reel, gear ratio reel, GS model again from 7. And then, you know, the bait comes with sticky sharp Gamakatsu number 6 treble hooks on there, so you don't have to mess with anything. It's got enough vibration that it will draw fish up to the bait. It's not super subtle. It's got some vibration to where you're in some stained water, you're around some bait fish. It can separate itself, but it is still subtle enough that you're gonna be able to catch fish behind people, and that little small profile is not gonna be overbearing for fish that have been beat on all year. A lot of the lakes that we fish, anglers are fishing them all the time, all over the place, and you take a little small crankbait like that and you can catch fish right behind other anglers, especially, like I said, especially when they're keying in on those little small bait fish. So don't forget about that little shallow crankbait action. But I'm gonna go old school on this next one. Old school is still a lot of fun. That's right, the ball and chain is back, baby. The Carolina rig is a bait that I catch a lot of fish on in October. And really what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna find those areas that have bait fish. You're gonna go in, you know, creeks, creek arms, pockets, find where the bait is. If you find where the bait is, and you may not be able to get bit, or maybe you catch 1 or 2 on topwater, maybe you catch 1 or 2 on the crankbait, you're like, man, there's so many fish out here, where are the fish? Maybe you're in one of those lakes that doesn't have a ton of cover. If that's the case, the ball and chain can really come into play. You throw the Carolina rig, I like a 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce tungsten weight. You can throw lead is fine. I do a bead and then a little clacker to protect the knot. SPRO power swivel, 20-pound Sunline shooter to a 14-pound shooter leader, probably about 3.5 feet long. Gamakatsu 3/0 offset shank round bend worm hook, missile baits, baby destroyer, green pumpkin flash, hands down my favorite color. I'm gonna be throwing this on secondary points anywhere I can find that bait fish. Like I said, catching a fish or two, or maybe not catching a fish, with that, but there's bait fish in the area, a lot of times those fish will back off. They're not actively feeding. They're going to go to the next piece of cover, which might be a secondary type point. If you can find a gravel type secondary points, you're liable to catch largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, where there's bait fish present. Man, just old school can absolutely be a great way. You can make super long casts with it. You don't have to fish 100 casts with it. You don't have to have forward-facing sonar to fish it. You can just throw it all the way up to the bank. A lot of times in the fall, I'll catch fish 2 to 3 feet deep with that Carolina rig, because those fish might be cruising the bank. They don't hit the topwater, they don't hit the crankbait, but that big weight hitting the bottom will absolutely trigger those bites. So that's the third option in October. The fourth option is the Neko rig. That's right, I said it, Neko rig, not Neko rig. This is a Missile Baits quiver 4.5. Any straight style worm works really good. I've got a Gamakatsu split shot drop shot hook on there. That's a 1/0, and then I've got a 1/32 ounce weight. In the October fall, I like bait fish colors. This is not something I'm going to be throwing into cover. This is something I'm going to be throwing around where there's active fish. If you have forward-facing sonar and you're using that, you see fish out there that are running around, the Neko rig is a great way to catch those fish. I usually throw that on 8-pound Sunline Sniper leader with about a 10-foot leader to 16-pound Sunline All Might braid, and then a GX reel by 7, Cashin Icon drop shot rod. It's got the perfect taper. It's got the counterbalance weight, so you're gonna throw that Neko rig out there, and then as it's sinking and you're fishing it, you're gonna keep that rod tip up. So you want that counterbalance weight. I think that's very important to have in my setup. I think you'll enjoy it as well. But that thing, it catches fish year round, I'm not gonna lie, but in the fall, it definitely exceeds in that October time period. And last but not least, in October, I've already mentioned a lot of small bait fish in that time period. When they're on small bait fish and you are fishing forward-facing sonar, you might want that little cute 3-inch spunk shad. This is Goby Bite. It's a natural looking minnow color. This is on the Missile Baits eye roll head. This is the 1/0 hook. It's a 1/8 ounce. That's a good starting point. You can go lighter if the fish are higher in the water column, or you don't want it to get down too much. You can go down to the 16th ounce. If the fish are a little bit deeper in the lake that you're fishing, you can go to the 3/16 or the 1/4 ounce. I'm gonna have a 14-pound, yes, I said it, 14-pound leader, but it's not very long. My leader's maybe 3 feet long. Shorter leader on my minnows seems to be a lot more effective, better hookup ratio, better action. And again, Sunline All Might, this is 18-pound Sunline All Might. I like a little bit heavier braid. Helps keep that bait up there so that when you throw out there towards those actively feeding fish, or just those fish cruising around looking for bait fish, you don't have that bait rocket past them. You want that bait to kind of stay up, so that's why I have a little bit bigger line. With that welded ring on the front of that eye roll, you're not going to have any effect on the action of this bait, because the fulcrum point is always going to be in that welded ring against the jig head. So, you know, if it was 6-pound test or 14-pound test, it's going to have the same action. So I'm going to go with 14-pound test. And then I've just got a medium lure forward-facing sonar rod by Cashin. It's a 7-foot 4-inch rod. It's a medium with a more of a moderate to fast action. I don't know exactly what to call it, but you can see it's a fairly soft taper, and that's exactly what I want for a forward-facing sonar rod. And a little jig rod like this. That is my last but not least. For all you forward-facing sonar haters out there, don't be hating on it. It can be a lot of fun in the fall, I'll be honest with you. And that is definitely a great lure to throw in October. So that's my top 5 in October. I could name another 5 of lures that I love to throw in October, but those are the top 5 that I can post pretty much anywhere and go catch fish. If you have any different ones, drop them down there in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.